Hey guys, my name's Tekie. I'm here in the Hustler Studios. We're about to do a podcast. Got a few things on our mind today, speaking about mental health, the state of Sydney clubs, the music scene, the music I've been working on, a little bit of microdosing, just speaking about spirituality. Should be a fun day. I'm super keen to get into it. Let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hustler Daily. My name is Mitchell Gambit. Alongside me, as per usual, is Shaun and Jesse. And today we have a very special guest in the building, Mr. Tekie, Mr.
Hey guys.
Mullet of the Month.
What it
Mullet of the
is.
year, bro.
Mullet of the year. Fresh. Just
That's
wanna
some
rub the
L'Oreal
fingers
ad
for
over
being
there.
honest.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me.
No, all good, man. For people who know you, people who want to get to know you better, people who don't know you, who's Tekie?
So I make music. I make a bit of house techno. I've been doing a bit of hip hop lately, working with some rappers in the area. There's a lot of cool rappers, some out west. Working with a dude named Dante Knows from Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
So he's living here at the moment. Toured with Sticky Fingers. So he's cool.
Fucking hell.
Got a booth set up in my house. We've been recording shit. Graveyard Boys, but they're not working as Graveyard Boys anymore. I don't know if you heard of those guys, but they're from out west sort of ways. Pretty much got my house EP ready to go, so doing that shit. DJ'd for 5 years, but not much
With
happening
everything
right
going
now.
on.
All the clubs are closed. They're opening up soon, so hopefully score some gigs. I don't know, fucking...
There you go.
About it for me. In the music world, in the music scene, worked in there since I was 18, so...
Fuck yeah. You've had a few gigs in the past, eh? Like World
all over the
Bar?
place. I worked at World Bar for a year at the bar.
Yeah.
I DJ'd there for 3 years, 4 years. Pretty much heaps of places. Ivy, Chinese Laundry,
Yeah.
Home Bar, Starfuckers, all over
Fucking
the
hell,
place.
Starfuckers even.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Starfuckers.
I think anyone that's gone in the club scene for the last 5-6 years has probably seen your face around.
I'm around. I've only had this mullet for 2 years, but I'm around.
Is that how long you've been growing it for? 2 years.
Oh, bro, I've had this hair. This is 5-6 years of growth. I had my hair down to my ass. And
Yeah.
I can relate.
I'll fucking cut it into a mullet. Why not?
No, it looks
That's
fucking
coming out
mad.
Very nicely.
Thank you.
And
Kind
how'd
of
you,
developed over the years, you know.
What shampoo and conditioner do you use?
Oh, fuck.
plug it?
Herbal Essence. That's a plug, Herbal Essence.
shout out Herbal
Herbal
Essence.
Essences. The purchases of that just skyrocketed. After
Honestly, their stocks, bro. We need to get in now.
we're gonna put it in now before this gets released, because Herbal Essence's stock is just gonna flow after that.
Plug me. Free shampoo, please. Shit's not cheap.
Oh, bro, it can fucking dent the
Not
bank.
cheap to have good looking hair like that.
Nah. Gotta take
Plug
care
in.
of this bad boy.
You're not a stranger to the long hair.
No. That's why when I seen this morning, it took me back to when I had hair like that.
A bit of PTSD.
It's a bit of a pain in the ass half the time.
Oh, huge pain in the ass.
Can't do anything. You gotta wash your hair. If you wet your hair, it's a fucking process.
Yeah.
Oh, and the beach is your worst enemy, cuz.
But I hate going to the beach.
Get
You
all the
can't just have a
sand.
quick dip without being uncomfortable. And, your hair goes thick and shit and knots up. And
But see, it'd be alright because it's all at the back as well. So
it's a
that's
little
why.
bit better when the wind
Yeah.
and shit. When it's when it comes down, it used to come down at the front and stuff. It's just everywhere, bro. You eat, it's in your mouth.
Oh.
Was that the
wind-
main reason you cut it?
No, but it was like a bonus.
Yeah.
Now, I used to not be able to do put my head down without my hair just going
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Now I'm stress-free, wear it out. No
Up, down,
issues,
left,
yeah.
right,
That's
motherfucker.
So you used to have long hair.
I
all
used to
around.
have I had a bowl cut in high school,
Yeah.
all the front and shit, and then I grew it out because I went to a Catholic school, so I had to have it above the shoulders.
Oh, yep.
Bit
The
annoying.
days.
Yeah,
The days.
I tried arguing that. I got suspended for 3 days. Literally, I wrote a 3-page letter being why I should be able to have guys should have long hair.
Ignored, suspended.
Yeah, don't talk to me about equality.
Request fucking decline, brother.
Yeah.
We're not about your education here.
Or about your fucking hair above the shoulders.
Yeah.
Bro, they used to send you, even if you had one prickle of
Facial hair.
facial
Go
hair,
shave.
Bro.
they'd send you with a fucking $6 razor to the bathroom to shave.
Not even $6 for a 100-pack.
Seriously, it was those home brand ones.
Yeah.
They'd give you it bro, you'd come out, your cheek, half your skin would be off. Like it's in.
And at the time, no one knew how to fucking shave as
Nah.
well. You'd think they'd send a teacher down with you and like teach you how to fucking
You think
shave.
that'd be a class or something, bro? Instead, I'm doing trigonometry and all.
We're all boys school and we don't know how to fucking shave. We don't know any life fucking
They
basics.
just send you down there.
I remember
Like,
the year they brought in fucking coloured shoes because before that they thought it was
Oh,
a distraction,
straight
bro.
white.
Yeah, it was always fucking
But
white.
I got it suspended for that too.
Coloured shoes.
I had my bright blue, bright orange fucking free runners.
Yeah.
I've caused a scene over that. I'm like, these cunts are wearing these fucking Ray-Bans that are flat soles.
The volleys,
Yeah, the
cuz.
volleys. These like Converses and shit. And just because they're white, they're all good. And I'm like, these free runners, look how much support they have. I can't even fucking wear them.
He's an ergonomic brother.
Seriously, these are recommended by my orthodontist.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that the name?
Yeah, I think isn't that a dentist?
Ortho.
Pediatrician.
That's it.
Pediatrician? What's
Orthodont-
ortho?
They do your teeth.
Maybe. Or,
No, because you get orthotics.
Orthopedist?
I think that's a dictionary.
Fucking hell.
Fuck me. No, but how'd you get into the whole how'd you get into the, I guess, working
Music
both
scene.
as a bar staff, but also as a DJ?
I like to
As
party a
these
little
clubs.
bit.
Yeah.
I in my last year of HSC, I had a bit of fun times going out. You know? And
Was that during or after? Just
during I borrowed I didn't actually turn 18 until the middle of HSC, the final exams, but I had a mate's ID. So like the whole HSC, like year 12 was going out. I don't know, I just like partying, and then eventually a couple of my mates ran World Bar Wednesday nights. They actually like curated the night and stuff, and from that on got into it. Pretty much started DJing just hip hop, and then from then on it just progressed. Used to hang out, smoke a lot of cones with my mates, and they taught me to DJ, and I don't know.
and it just took
So
off
just
from there.
homegrown talent.
Yeah, just literally just natural, you know, like didn't do your shot, fuck your shot. No issues of people doing your
Nah,
shot.
fuck your shot, bro. I tried out.
I tried out and they can't. They were like, nah, sorry, like.
Same
nah.
here, bro.
I'm like, what do you mean? Look at me now. This guy, like,
When I make it, motherfuckers.
yeah, don't need your shot. Do it on your own.
So it was all self-taught, like from the boys.
Semi from
and-
the boys, yeah. There's a collective called Bodega. They're working out of Annandale now. They're doing some good shit. They pretty much taught me everything. And then production, I kind of just started teaching myself production. A lot of help from mates, but pretty much myself. And then I went to Ableton Live to a school, which is a program I use.
Yeah.
And it was like $5,000 for a whole year. Killed it, like so much fun. They teach you everything you need to know about production, and just took off from there.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah, so
So you physically went to a school.
it's like once a week you go to a class, and it's like they teach you like 3 hours, and it's all like you see like professionals from the industry. There's like there's a lot of actual music people that are in the Australian industry that like getting played on Triple J and stuff like that, and like they're teaching the classes and stuff, which is
So it's
cool.
really good to network as well.
That too, you meet so many good people, and like on top of that, you meet really good mix and masters. So when you finish a track, you got to send it to somebody who's like an audio engineer or mix and master, and you meet some good people.
They just
there.
polish it up and everything.
Definitely, and especially for someone who's in like the house or tech or like I guess dance scene. When you go to other places, it's a lot bandy or like that sort of stuff. And this school was like big on their electronic music, so very good to like meet those contacts.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Right down your alley.
Oh, 100%. It was good. Yeah, no, a lot of these boys are like, a lot of the teachers, were getting paid, were getting played all over like FBI radio, which is big for the Australian dance scene, and Triple J as well.
So the EP that you're working on then, is that inspired by anything in particular, or is it just like a collection of
just
your
like
works and shit?
years of, I guess, being in clubs.
Yeah.
On top of that, probably, I don't know, like, I've got lots of influences. I listen to a lot of different things. A lot of industrial sounds. I don't know, I guess, like, trippy shit. I was, like, a bit of a tripper, but, you know, just, like, yeah, I don't know, just, like, so many different influences. It's got a bit of, like, tech, bit of hip-hop influences. It's a bit of an experimental mix of both.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's
And
not too experimental, but, you know.
And you got vocals on there, or is it just instrumental?
A little bit. Mostly vocals I've purchased online.
Yeah.
I just released a track last year, actually, with my first track I've released with somebody on it. Her name's Disco Shrine. So she's from LA, which was pretty cool. So I met her when I was in LA.
Oh, yeah.
I went there like 2 years ago, and when she was in Australia last year, she jumped on one of my tracks.
Yeah,
So
fuck
that was
yeah.
cool, and that was like a house sort of track, so that was fun.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
It's good to work with people, but it's very hard when you're making house tracks to actually like get vocalists in there.
Yeah.
Half the tracks I've tried making that were house tracks sort of turned into hip hop tracks.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it goes, you know.
Is that why you're sort of going down the hip hop alley now?
I'm just a massive hip hop head, so
Yeah.
I've always thought like, why not do it, you know, push for it. And I don't know, I started making hip hop beats, and then I'm friends with a lot of different people in the industry,
Yep.
a lot of rappers, and I grew up with a lot of different people that are rapping now, so I just thought why not, and it's been a good journey so far, you know.
Yeah.
Been growing with certain groups, you know, all learning together, coming up together.
Yeah, that's fucking exciting.
It's been good.
So
You can't. Yeah. You can't wait for the clubs to open back up.
I'm like semi-liking not having to go out.
Yeah, so
it's a nice rest, you know.
Well deserved rest after 6 years or 7 years.
Honestly, I was like thanking God to like be able to go to bed every night at like 9 p.m. I was like, thank you. Like, it's been nice, you know. I had a bit of a break from drinking, which is good. But I don't know. Yeah, clubs open up in the next probably in the next few weeks. I think.
Oh, is that what they reckon?
They're starting to
Fucking
open
hell,
up.
yeah.
I'm seeing events starting to pop up slowly. Cases are very minimal right now too,
Yeah.
which is good. So.
But will there be limits on that? Like,
So it's half the capacity of the club,
Oh, yeah.
or up to 1,000 people, I believe.
oh shit.
Fucking hell, no one's gonna get in.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know. They're small. Some of
Think
these
about how
clubs.
hard it was before COVID to get into a club. A secchi take one look at it. Nah, mate, sorry, you're not coming in today.
Yeah, I know. They
It'll
just
be
use
about
as
a
excuse.
ratio of 995 women to 5 men. I gotta dress up the place.
Yeah, I remember when we went out to that Mexican place or whatever it is in Bondi.
El Camino? Oh,
El
no,
was it El Topo?
Bondi,
El Topo?
Bondi, yeah.
And there was 4 or 5 of us, and we're waiting in line, and we've got there, and it was just us 5. And then they've said, "Hey boys, do you have any girls?" And we like they literally said, and we're like, "Nah." They're like, "Well, you can't come in. Sorry." We're like, "What the fuck, bro?
What do
We've
you
been
mean?"
lining up for so long."
I'd
Are
suddenly
you
expect
kidding?
that from Bondi, and it's kind of shit that they tell you, like, once you're at the front of the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, come. That's it. Come. We're lining up. We've been lining up for like
They love it,
45
bro.
minutes.
They smile at
Come
you,
tell
they
us.
see you up the back, they smile at you and let you wait. They get a fucking hard on you.
Yeah.
They, like, reject you once you get to the front of the line.
Well, probably because
power
if they
trip.
tell you, we'll end up like finding a random, couple girls or whatever. Hey,
True,
can you
true.
just come?
Just walk in with
Just
us.
come with us, and then. But yeah, that was. That
I
was
don't
not fun.
blame him, bro. That would be a fun part of the job. Like,
Honestly, I've seen a lot of
like
stuff
in a
out of
petty
sectors
way.
over the years.
In a petty way, not like legit way. In a petty way, it'd be nice to just look
they're
at some
pretty
cunt
petty,
and go,
bro.
I'm
Like,
gonna fucking ruin your night.
I've been bashed by seckies, which
Oh
has
my.
not been fun. But I've also like seen a lot of like at an unnamed club I worked at.
Undisclosed.
I've seen a lot of shit over the years. You know, seckies are power tripping. King's Cross Police is even more. You know, like power tripping.
Just got to get one over you.
Yeah. But the seckies, yeah, like the shit I've seen, it's just like, and they'll back the other seckies up. Like even if they started,
Yeah.
they'll back them up. So it's like it's a gang, you know.
Literally.
It's rough.
I think though over here we're pretty lucky with the seckies we have because you see some of them videos coming out like Bali and that where the seckies are fucking planting drugs on them, trying to get them arrested and shit. Like, remember that bloke? It would have been like last year or something when that video came out, went viral, and you see the secchi put the bag in his pocket and walk him out. Like,
Was it Bali?
I think it was Bali,
Yeah.
one of the big clubs over there. So.
And if they didn't have the video, the bloke would have got done.
Yeah, I'd rather cop one on the chin than 20 years in Lombok or whatever the fuck it's called.
But even in Europe, they were saying when we were over there, we had to be really careful with all the security because they say if you do anything out of line, they literally take you around the corner.
Yeah,
and just bash you.
Yeah.
So we are pretty lucky here in that sense.
We
But
are.
then you're saying you've been bashed by security.
I have three seckies jumped me at a place in Surrey Hills. I
you
was a
a
little
bit
bit
at-
fucked up.
Yeah.
But, I wasn't even in the place. I was like, we didn't get let in, and I like went to pat him on the back and have a joke with him, and he's like, "Don't fucking touch me."
Oh god.
And then it just like
can't.
started, and I punched a sign, and
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Missed the target.
And they got arrested. Like 6 cop cars came and shit. It was crazy.
Just for one little man.
Yeah, one little man. I was pretty blind. It's all good. It happens. You know.
Bro, the Seckies, bro, they are on a power trip.
To be fair, the opposite in Melbourne. So I saw this dude drop like a 10-pack of pingers, and the Secchi picked it up, handed it back to the dude. Like, all right.
What a place to live.
Yeah, it's Melbourne for you.
No wonder it's the party capital of Australia.
Yeah, literally. It was
Yeah.
till recently, but
That's fucked. They're not doing anything till the 28th of October at least. They've still got another month in them before fucking
no,
anything opens up.
I think because the cases are doing alright, they've
Oh yeah, bringing
So
it
slowly
forward.
Fast-tracked it, yeah?
they've fast tracked it.
I don't think they'll have clubs, but
I
for
don't
a
think
bit.
clubs. It's
Like
a bit.
they're 3 months behind us, I reckon.
Yeah.
With everything, like
Definitely,
in terms of all the big fucking events, because you can't even play sport down there still.
Crazy.
Like Melbourne are versus Para up at Suncorp today. So
Fucking Suncorp.
yeah, like
Who gets the home advantage in that?
honestly, it's a neutral ground. If anything,
Yeah, it's
Para
basically.
are closer.
It's a Barra home game.
But to be fair, Melbourne been up there for fucking since they locked down.
Well, half the Melbourne team plays for Queensland, so fuck me.
Yeah, they get an Origin experience.
Yeah.
Nah, but fuck, Melbourne's chill, bro. If you,
The
how
shopping
have you
down
been
there's
there?
hectic.
Been there a few times. I'm really like I enjoy Melbourne, but I don't know if I could live there. It's like
Same.
it's good. It's good for like a weekend if you want to kick a bender and like you can party from a fucking Thursday to a Tuesday if you want, you know. But it's a bit few too many days, you know. But you can
You
Yeah,
can.
you can if you need to. You know.
They're
I
a
don't-
different breed too, bro.
Oh,
Melbournians.
Yeah, they love their speed down there. It's bad. Like, they got nothing else better to do, and they like keep up for like 3 days and just like bump speed. Like it's, I don't know.
And what's that number one
Coffee.
club down there? It's a fucking
Oh,
hole.
Revs.
Revs.
Revolver.
Bro, it's a
Yeah.
fucking hole.
It's a hole. It looks like a diner that's been smashed in and ran through. Like you walk in there on a Sunday and there's like that much glass on the floor. You think someone had fucking broken into the place. And it's alright, but it's a good time. you
Everyone
know?
just parties.
Yeah, it's party.
Everyone's
It's
there
party.
for the same reason and
Yeah.
shit.
And Melbourne's chill. Like being someone from Sydney, going down there is
You can
relaxing.
be fucked up. You can be fucked up and be out. They're not gonna like kick you out for being fucked up. You know, in
Whereas
Sydney,
Sydney, yeah.
yeah, you had 6 too many beers and you're out. You know, apparently 6 not the right answer when you want to get into a club. I've had 2 beers. You know, who the fuck has 2 beers before you get up?
Honestly, imagine how many people walk through and go, I've only had 2, bro.
Yeah.
That's
It's
probably
been
the
a-
only number
I know,
they would
yeah,
hear.
they're like, oh yeah, you've had 2. He's had 2. Everyone must have had 2. You tell them 6 bar and they're like, too many.
How's that crazy? Having like 10, 12. Like,
Yeah, I know,
you're fucking
straight
off
up.
chops by the time you get there. Oh, man, I've just
Should
had 2.
appreciate your honesty. You know? Like, I mean, you're the first person that hasn't lied to me.
Get in there, have a good night.
You get a table for free.
Bring the bottles out. This bloke's having a good time tonight.
He's at 6. Keep him fucking going. He's an honest bloke. Keep him on the fucking piss.
He's fucking well deserved.
Got any drugs? Because we got some for you.
We've got
If
a
you didn't
10-pack
bring 'em.
laying around here somewhere.
That's maybe the trick to nightlife in Sydney is just be honest. Mate, I am fucking blind. And I'll be like, okay, come in.
Well, it's not the trick, but it doesn't work.
Not in Bondi, it doesn't. Don't try in Bondi. Just don't go to Bondi. I think that's a moral story.
Don't go to Bondi.
Yeah.
Fuck Bondi.
But I reckon Sydney's maybe on the verge of opening back up into
24
a
hours.
24-hour joint.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what'll be under that. I've seen that. I hope it's clubs again. That'd be wild. Should be able to till the sun goes up. You know, a whole generation like with lockout laws. They came into effect what like 6-7 years ago now.
Feels like fucking.
It's been a long
forever.
time. So like when we turned 18, the year we turned 18 was the year they were in effect, and since then like I worked at World Bar that year, and it was still pumping, just slowly decline, and I just saw so many clubs in the cross close. Hey, and I don't know. I feel like for 6 years, every generation that's been 18 since that then has just missed out on any sort of experience. You know. So hopefully, I'm hoping for the next generation that are, you know, fresh to come into it. They actually like know what partying is, you know.
Because it ruins like all the industries. It's not just like the pubs and clubs that
Heaps.
suffer. It's all the music people as
Yeah.
well, like
Music
yourself.
thrive
Like
off that.
without the, like your stage to perform, how do you make your cash unless you've like got the ins with actual putting it on Spotify and getting it out there legitimately?
It's very hard in Sydney or New South Wales at least to make it through production in clubs. Like back in the day, like people like Alice in Wonderland. There's a fair few artists I can name that just like made it through clubs, pushed through clubs, and built up from clubs to festivals to whatever. But you can't really do that these days, you know. There's no opportunities there. There hasn't been in the past maybe 6 years.
It feels like especially. Do you remember the club?
The club across from World Bar.
Yeah. But I reckon that place had the same DJ every weekend.
Yeah.
The same fucking soundtrack just used to play from start to finish. You used to stand up there and not even do anything.
Literally.
It's how it goes, yeah. It's the thing, that's what the club started to become. It's like nothing interesting, you know.
Chris Brown and Tiger, fan of a fan on repeat.
Yeah.
But World Bar was always pumping.
It was good. Towards the end, not so much, but definitely it was like...
Why'd they close down? Just due to not being able to afford
once
it?
lockouts came in, like when I first worked there, the first night I worked there, 3 levels were open, and then towards the end of like working there, only a year later, you'd be lucky if the second level was open on that same night. You know,
fucking hell.
It was just like it depended. Some nights it was just like in waves. It'd be busy. It wouldn't. You know, and you lose money like that. It's not.
It's not fucking cheap to
there's a lot of
pay
overheads.
rent as well.
You're paying like liquor fees, licensing fees. You're paying the electricity, which for 3 levels is crazy. The rent, the staff, like the DJs. Which, you know, if you're having a decent night, the DJs can be anywhere from $500 to $3,000 just for the headline.
Fuck.
You know, so.
And then you got the roster behind that as well.
And then on top you've got all the backups, you know, all the openers and stuff. So it's not cheap.
Yeah.
I don't know. The owners used to complain a lot about, like, you know, we'd be spending this much and only making this much, and half the time they weren't even making that. They were losing money. You know? So
just not worth their while.
It's not worth it. Yeah. So it just happened. They changed owners, and then after that, the owners turned to Cali Club, and then Cali Club were just fuckwits and didn't pay any of the DJs and just went dry.
Business.
Nah, not at all. But.
There you go.
They should have just let World Bar die, unfortunately. Not reopen it back up as something else. But
it is what it is.
It is what it is, you know. There was a few clubs going strong, but saying that, like Chinese Laundry, run by same people that run Ivy, you know, Maryvale runs it. So they got a lot of money behind them and backing.
Yeah, multi-million-dollar business already.
Exactly. They could run it at a loss, and there was no issues, you know, which isn't like fair for other companies, you know. Like World Bar was a family-owned business, you know. You got that competing with someone who has millions and millions of dollars, can take a loss for 5 years just to flush the competition out. You know, like Laundry was always semi-strong because there wasn't much else going on. You know.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
World Bar Wednesdays.
Yeah, what a night they were, the war.
Oh, man.
Work on a Thursday hurt.
Attended many World Bar Wednesdays.
Now I think about it, like, fuck going out on a Wednesday, but...
Yeah, honestly.
It is what it is.
Bro, I barely want to fucking leave the house. I barely want to cook dinner on a Wednesday, let alone fucking...
Go out and
let alone World Bar.
Eat a few pingers, you know.
That'll make sure you don't have to have fucking dinner.
No dinner.
That's a cheap dinner.
No dinner needed.
Do you reckon there's a revolution if it does open? Do you reckon, like, if Sydney becomes a 24-hour city and clubs are a part of that, you reckon we see a revitalization in clubs, clubs?
I think everything's gonna start up fresh again. We won't see a lot of the old stuff, but I'm hoping there's a lot of people that are still passionate. There's a lot of people who, that I know anyway, have worked in the industry for years. They don't want to give it up, or they haven't given it up by choice. So it's like, with that, when there is more option out there, you know, and when clubs do need people to run the nights for them, because the clubs don't actually run the night themselves, they get people to run them. So they get like experienced people who know what's what, booking people, promoters, all that sort of stuff. There is people ready to go. I know people that will jump at the opportunity. So, and there's a lot of like passionate people out there. It's just they need the place to do it, and there's no place to do it, and there hasn't been for years, you know. So,
no, that's exciting.
Yeah,
it's good to hear that because when Sydney's pumping, it's pumping.
Oh, I have faith, but it'll be like it took 6 years to kill it fully. And like even before COVID, the nightlife was dead. It was really just like struggling.
Well, it sort of needed something like this to sort of change it up
to a point, definitely. And it'll take probably another 5 before it gets back to somewhere semi decent. But But it will slowly take off. I don't know. I'm hoping people are so bored from like being stuck at home that it's just like takes off quicker. But it's a culture thing. You got to understand. Like now, people our age, we've grown up thinking it's normal to go home at 2 a.m. You know, or 3 a.m. or go to kick-ons or whatever. Like there's no culture in being there till the morning. You know, what I always realize, people don't come out till 10:30, 11, and they're only there from 11 till 2 normally. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
like that. Like the amount of stories I used to hear from the older boys and whatnot that said that, you know, they used to club hop. So
yeah,
they'd
you'd
go
be out for hours.
They'd go out at 11 p.m. and that was the start of their night, and they'd be there till 8, 9. You know, in the morning, they're catching a train home or whatever the case was.
Yeah. And
that's the same, like, you go over to Europe when we were there, we were doing the same thing. So the first couple of nights, we'd go out at 10 o'clock, and it was fucking dead.
No one's out
Like,
till 1
no
or 2
one's
a.m.
out.
Nah.
Yeah.
And then it started picking up at about 11, 11:30. By 1 a.m., you know, it's pumping. The main headline's on at 2:30, 3.
Yeah.
And then that's what we
crazy.
picked up, and then that's
Definitely.
where we started going out at that time as well. And it's a 10 times better night.
Oh, so much.
Like-
It is a bit seedy coming out and the day starting. And
Oh, it's very
you're
uncomfortable.
walking
but
home a bit off it, and everyone's like walking their dog and like going for a run, all healthy and shit.
gracias.
It's good fun, definitely. I'm semi glad we didn't have it almost, because like my body is thankful that we didn't have that. But you know, it's a shame that we didn't have that option if we wanted to. You know.
Yeah.
Well, at least if it's back, you're going to be refreshed and ready. COVID's locked you down.
I'm a bit
The
too
body's
old, a bit too old
detox.
to party these days, but
Oh.
I can still stay up all night and kick it. You know, have a few drinks, but
Headline the joint.
oh, hopefully one day.
Yeah.
Working on my production so that pump some
When
stuff.
the time's ready. Have
That's
you
it,
have
bro.
you found with COVID you've been able to, you know, lock your head in more and hustle with
Yes.
your EP and
Yes and no. So like for 6 months, I kind of like was in like a crisis of like, what do I do with my life? But
26.
now I'm thinking I put some stuff out. Hopefully, it's just like I didn't do any music for like 6 months. I don't know. I was just like
Took a step back.
just like COVID made me look at everything and like what's important, and like I don't know, like with no clubs and all that open, and just like it kind of wasn't motivating, you know.
yeah.
And like I guess when the virus first came out, it was a bit like, fuck, I took a step back from working with people because I didn't know how serious this virus was or what to take it. Now I couldn't care less about it.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like, let's work, let's do stuff. Like if it
Come
happens,
over.
it
Well,
happens.
now the numbers have come out, bro. It's almost it's like
It's a lie. It's all just bullshit.
yeah,
like,
it's just
so-
a hype thing. man.
Very,
Like,
very manifested through the media.
Oh, definitely. And I've realized that. So like I've started working again with people, and hopefully, I don't know, like it's just expensive. It's like to get an EP mixed and mastered, it's gonna cost me like $500,000. And that's just like, I don't know if I want to commit to that yet, you know. But I guess with the clubs opening back up, it's been giving me more motivation and pushing me to want to put some more tracks
get back
out.
into it.
Yeah.
It almost gives you that competition sense, like everyone else is most likely going to be out there.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
steel sharp. What is
And-
it? Iron sharpens iron or some shit. Whatever.
It's
the
just
Steel
it's just-
sharp and steel.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck did you just say?
No, but like, yeah, like you can tell most likely that people are going to be getting to it, and also that
Definitely.
fuck, nightlife is
when
probably
people are
going to click it.
DJing, like I can chuck my tracks at them and be like, play it in the club and
Yeah.
shit. Or, you know, if you're if there's like tech or housey sort of events, I can like, you know, put my EP out and then I'll be like, chuck me on as like a headline or a co-headline or something, and gives you more motivation, you know.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Something to
That's-
work towards almost.
Yeah, exactly. Like I make club music mostly. Like I want to be able to play it in the club.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not motivating when you can't have that.
When
you
there's
know?
no clubs.
Yeah, you put music out. 6 months later, it's like semi old news, you know. So like, you don't want to be like, you can still play your tracks, but you don't want to be like 6 months later playing your tracks in the club for the first time. You know, you want to be playing them while they're fresh and they're new, and you know.
Yeah. Give you the drive to make more and more.
Yeah, exactly. 6 months later, you're putting another track out, so it's like that's like your old stuff's like, you know. You want to be playing your new stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about with you, bro, is microdosing. So I heard
Yes.
fucking something that you've
Yeah.
started recently.
I started with mushrooms, and I was doing about 0.1 of a gram so you do it twice a week for about 5 week cycle. I'm lucky enough to have a friend who's like studying this, and he helped me out a lot with like you know, any questions I had and how to do it. So you take it on a Monday and a Thursday, 2 days in between, and then like, so there's 3 days in between after that.
Yeah.
But
Some quick math.
yeah. So I did about a 2.5 week cycle with mushrooms, but I found on the days I was taking it, it was giving me a weird anxiety.
Yeah.
So it's not for everybody. In like a small percentage of people with mushrooms, it gives you a small bit of anxiety. But I'd also find 2 days after, so the day before I take it again.
Like the Wednesday.
Yeah, on the Wednesday or say the Saturday, I'd find myself like incredibly happy, incredibly like energetic, and like I don't know, it's really weird. It's just like how you'd feel a little bit funny on the day you took it. Not high, not tripping, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But it would just like the way it would lift your mood. And another thing I found too with it, so I get like bad nightmares and night dreams and just anxiety dreams and stuff. I stress a lot. It stopped all of that. All my dreams were calm, and I was like content, and it was weird. So it's good actually.
And that was every day of the week. You were feeling that.
Yeah, it stopped it, and like it pretty much like barely get them now at the moment. I haven't been getting them barely ever. But I swapped over. I stopped doing that because of the anxiety issue. Like I would be at work and I'd just be like looking all funny,
just
like
really anxious.
It. Yeah, like honestly, like I've been anxious for like majority of my life, but this was like just another level, something different. But my other mate who microdoses on LSD said he had that same reaction with the mushroom microdosing. So he gave me some LSD like drops, and I do that as a microdose now. I do that on Mondays and Monday and Thursdays.
Do you find it works better than the mushrooms?
So much better. I did it yesterday because I missed my day this week, but I just find like it uplifts your mood. It's a bit more energetic, helps with like social anxiety, just like creativity and stuff. Like you feel more on the point, like on the ball. I don't know, it's a big thing. There's like there's a bit of like myths and rumors about it, and like I don't know, there was a show on Netflix about it, but I think like overall I think it's like very useful as a tool.
Well, I think the bloke that wrote Star Wars fucking wrote it while he was tripping on acid, hiding in a cupboard or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He hid in a cupboard with his cat and he's fucking come up with Star Wars somehow. Imagine what he was saying.
I think psychedelics, for creatives especially, for everyone, it's probably useful, but for creatives especially, the most incredible tool. They're especially like very logical, or like people that need to think differently or outside of the box. It connects parts of your brain that like don't feel connected before that, you know. You see things, not necessarily like a dragon, but like you see things like that you'd never seen before. Your brain, you know, you think about different things in different ways. It's like, it's insane, and I think it's very useful. I think everyone should like do acid once in their life, or shrooms once in their life at least, you know.
For the experience.
Open themselves up, there's a lot of propaganda out there about losing your mind on it and all this stuff, and very small percentage. You can have a bad trip, but you 99.9% of the time always come back from that. Like, there's not many people that fully go skits from it, you know. It's almost worth the risk, like with everything, you know. Just don't overdo it. Like, you know, some people are dumb and just, you know, would take 2 tabs at once, or, you know, 5 grams of mushrooms, ease into it, you know.
Well, you can overdose on anything, really. You can overdose on Panadol.
Definitely. But with psychedelics, you can't overdose physically. It's more mentally, which can be almost as bad. But
I'd rather, honestly, and this is weird, I'd rather OD physically.
Oh yeah, your body. Your body.
Mentally, it's fucked.
Oh no, I know. It's you feel
mentally,
physically.
Because mentally, fucks are physical.
Yeah,
if you're physical, then
definitely.
Physically, you can kind of be like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think with psychedelics, you got to be careful. Like, I messed around a bit too much with acid when I was younger. I don't know if I would do acid again in the sense of like take a whole tab. I am grateful for doing them. But I think like I took too much in too short of a time, thinking it was all like this and that. And acid is something you should take like 2-3 times a year max, if that.
Well.
I took it like 12 times in a space of 3 months, and just like
bit overwhelming.
It took me about like it took me like 5 days to come back from, and it took me like 8 months to feel normal.
Yeah.
I felt like a robot. I felt like nothing was real. Like,
Yeah.
I felt like I was just on autopilot. So, like, don't mess around with acid.
Speak to your GP.
Yeah. see if it's right for you.
It's like gamble responsibly at the end of the day. Don't mess around with that.
It's not a party tour.
That should
That's
be
what I
an ad.
realized. You know, I took it in party settings, took it at festivals, I took it, you know, at parties, you know, mates' birthdays and that shit. Don't do that.
Yep.
It's a tool, it's a medicine, and it should be used as such, you know. And that's one thing it should be respected. You know, it's not a cap, it's not a pinger. It's psychedelics are not a party drug. People use them as party drugs, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that that's not respecting them.
Because you hear a lot of people go in there and candy flip, like
Yeah.
when you take a tab and then drop some caps or whatever.
I regret that I've never done that. I like really wish I did, but every time I take the acid, I'd have a cap ready to go, which apparently brings your mood up heaps.
Yeah.
But I'd have I'd have the tab, and I'd be too fucked off the tab. I'd be
Even
like, I'm
think
not
about
eating
it.
I'm not eating any more drugs. Fuck that. Like, couldn't even fucking think about eating it. Like, Jesus. It's kind of good. Like, the acid's telling you caps are bad, I guess, but like,
Yeah.
but like together, apparently they're the best combo.
Fucking hell.
But also, that's another thing I wish I didn't abuse, because like MDMA is a therapeutical in a sense if you don't overdo it and if you're not abusing it. But you know, it's only therapeutical within a space of like maybe 10 times, and if you were to maybe only do it once or twice a year, you know.
Yeah, but you take it controlled as well.
And it's controlled, and it
Yeah.
can be. MDMA, like, I remember when I went to Europe, the first day in Amsterdam, when I ate a pinger, their pingers are so clean over there. I woke up the next day feeling better about life than ever, you know. And I felt like that for a week, and then you eat 3 pingers 3 times a week for 6 weeks, and it just...
A whole
down-
different effect.
downhill.
yeah, you get depressed as. Like, don't do that. But in a controlled environment, if it's clean, it's so beneficial. Like, so good for
Well,
you.
I've heard there's a lot of clinics as well that are doing that now. They're actually treating PTSD, depression, anxiety with controlled MDMA.
MDMA or ketamine is another one. In
Yeah,
Canada, it's
ketamine.
legal. Ketamine.
Ketamine.
Yeah.
It's a nasal spray for depression, which is wild. Like, I can't even imagine that. But
Because when you grow up, you know, partying and whatnot, you don't think about that.
Especially in Australia, bro.
Yeah,
Ketamine's just got that. You hear ketamine and you just think about like Cursor fans. Like, that's when I first heard ketamine.
You
was
think
when
of
Cursor
people
was-
getting stuck in K-holes.
it's big in the techno scene. So to me, like, that's the thing. I never like thought of it like, I kind of thought it was a bit scary or fucked, and then in the techno scene, it was like the drug of choice. And you start, like, I don't know, you try a little bit, and it's actually like the best high you've ever had. Like, ketamine would probably be the one drug that, like, for so long when I was saying no to drugs, ketamine was the hardest for me to give up.
Yeah.
Not that I was addicted, but like, if someone ever had it, it was like, fuck. It's like it's like what you would want off being drunk and being high, mashed together with a warm hug. I'm not advocating for doing drugs, but
Back on the horse cat tonight.
it's interesting.
Well, it's huge over in the UK.
Yeah,
like,
it's
there.
big,
It's
it's
easily
big.
their drug of choice.
Ketamine
Fucking
as well.
yeah.
Fuck me,
Just
it's
shouldn't
making
be
waves
abused,
in the northern
but,
hemisphere.
Yeah, shouldn't be abused because you get like bladder issues and all other stuff. But
I think that's the message with all of them is that
don't
there's
abuse
good
it.
in them.
Moderation.
You abuse
yeah.
them, you abuse anything, cause you abuse your phone, you're gonna be fucked, like mentally fucked up.
Exactly.
So like, I think that's the message in a sense. Like, you can do this stuff, and it doesn't have to be looked at as, you know, you chomping your jaw at a party.
Yeah.
You can literally do it for
Beneficial
genuine benefits.
purposes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I like told myself a couple years ago now, I won't take drugs in a party sense anymore. So I'm just like, it'll all be for
It's like a
therapeutic,
yeah.
therapeutic and like spiritual gain and all that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But I can't just use that as an excuse. Like, I still use that in moderation. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to continue microdosing LSD?
Yeah, I love my microdosing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a couple more tabs and just make up a little bit of a more mixture
Yeah.
for the microdosing. So with microdosing, you're only taking like 10, normal tabs about 150, 180 UGs. You're taking about 10, so it's like 1/16 of a tab you're taking roughly.
So you're not there tripping out.
You're not tripping, but like you don't even like. I probably took double the dose yesterday because I missed out this week.
Yeah.
Shouldn't do that. But I was I don't know. I wanted a bit of a good day, and I had a great day for it. But it's just you're not tripping. You're not everything. If there's one way to put it, you're like almost more aware. Like say you're like sitting in nature or you're walking somewhere and you see that like butterfly. You're just more aware of your surroundings. You know. It more everything's just a little bit more like on point, a bit
Enhanced.
sharper. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Does it make you understand movies and why they're so so delicate
Depends.
with all the fucking
Like
cutscenes and all the bits and pieces in it?
If
Because you're walking around seeing a butterfly.
not microdosing, but
Nah.
you know, like if you're in nature and you see like like normally you just walk past it, your brain,
Oh, of course.
your brain actually. So like, say if you're like going to work one day, your brain will cut out majority of that trip just to save energy. Like half the time you get
Yeah,
somewhere
I
and you
get you.
forget how you've gone there. Or not fully forgotten.
No, I know what you
But
mean.
you're like
You're
you
like, how
couldn't
the
remember.
fuck did I just
couldn't remember
drive?
the detail of it. You know, like then there's certain things you remember so vividly. It's because your brain, all the mundane things in your life, actually cuts out. So if you do the same thing every day, like say you walk to the bus stop, you're not going to really remember anything different about that day to the day before. Like if you're on microdosing, you're more aware of your surroundings, you're more with it, you're more in the moment, you're more it's like, I don't know if you guys have read the book or heard of it, Power of Now. So you're more living in the moment. You're all the mundane tasks you do, washing the dishes, you're actually doing it, eating your food. You eat dinner every night. Half the time you've scoffed it down and don't even remember it.
I can't
by the
remember
time
the
it's
last thing I ate
yeah,
and looked at.
that's what I mean. By the time it's down, you've forgotten about it. And that's what this is. You with microdosing kind of brings you a bit more into the moment, into the now,
Into the present.
and and you're more like grateful and you're more aware of your surroundings, which
Have
is
you seen
important.
the movie Limitless?
Yes, I love
Has
that.
it got any correlation to that? Not in the
no,
intensity.
not really, no. But I don't know. I wouldn't say so.
Let's say more so. Has it got correlation to the way that he's so focused?
So I've got ADHD, and I've found that Limitless is probably like taking dexamphetamines or Ritalin. Almost not as good, but like that's to me what I saw Limitless as. Like
Yeah.
I was on Ritalin when I was like 16, 17 years old. It's like a fucking power drug. It's like not as good as like what Limitless is, but it's like
Yeah, just
I call it
focus
kiddie
city.
speed because like they give kids literally like dexamphetamine is an amphetamine, which is meth basically. Like they're giving kids this stuff in schools and whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Like
kids are getting
Speed, like
kids are
Ritalin
getting
and
given
advice,
it at
yeah.
like 11.
yeah, it's speed,
shit.
and they shouldn't be taking that. And it ruined my brain, and it caused me like I guess you kind of grow into drugs anyway. But as being a 15, 16-year-old kid, when I took Ritalin, I was very against taking drugs, and it opened my mind up. I was high for like a year straight. Like I'd never felt that way. Like you're high on this speed sort of thing, and it makes you feel so like almost normal and good, and you're like, fuck, this is what life should feel like, and to have that feeling, it's not good, and especially when you're a
Well, 'cause
kid, it
you-
causes so many like neurological issues,
And you chase it.
You do,
ultimately,
no,
right?
you do, and that's a lot of like people that took Ritalin as kids understand how fucked up it is. I have a lot of mates that regret it, or just like you can tell that they know that they've been messed up from it,
When you say took it, you mean like they've been prescribed it and taken it prescription-wise? Wow.
When you're naughty and you have a lot of issues as a kid,
That's
people
what
would
they
rather
do, eh?
medicate you. They would rather medicate you than like maybe look at why you had those issues or try and work with you. It's too hard to deal with, so they medicate you.
Take this.
The
Get on with your day.
Blanket fix.
Yes,
and it's really not a
nice.
fix.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
You're there as a kid thinking this is a fix. So
And
you don't know no
You
different.
don't know as a kid.
Oh,
You're,
your parents
they're
are
telling you
agreeing
medical
and-
professional. You actually trust doctors when you're a kid.
Oh, big time,
Yeah,
bro. You
yeah.
used to look at them like there's no such thing as like
Yeah.
a medical mistake. No.
Now they're just they're people and they're just being played into their system. Not
Pretty
that I
much.
don't believe in all doctors. Majority of medicine can be useful and helpful, but a lot of them don't even know what they're doing anyway. They just
Yeah.
they're told something that
They learn it in a book.
Well,
they
you
learn
know,
it in
yeah.
a book. It's
Yeah.
everything we're told in general is like just we know it because we're told it. Doesn't mean it's actual facts.
Question everything.
Yeah, like if we're lied to in the media today, what's not to say that history and all the other stuff we haven't been lied to about, Like,
100%.
And when you
I've
actually
had
think about it.
I've had those deep thoughts when thinking about history. Like, how do we know history is what it is?
Well, history is written by the winners.
Exactly. It's
Well,
been
I think-
whitewashed too, so
and
it's
it's-
very whitewashed.
It's like what you said the other day, Gambo. Like, when you tell a story more than once, it starts to get tweaked.
Each
I
time you
don't
tell
think
it.
that natural human instinct is exempt when people are telling historical stuff. Like, everything probably has a bit of spice on it, in a sense.
Definitely.
For clout.
Definitely.
Historians just want that clout. But nah, like, that's what I mean. Like, it really is just coming back to the whole question everything and do your research. You don't have to, like, not start at not believing, but you got to just start on that middle. So like what we were talking before we jumped on, Social Dilemma.
Yep.
You can tell that's a really good documentary. You can tell their angle, but that's a really good documentary from a middle sense, because you're in the middle and you look at it, you're like, okay, I can tell that's manufactured, but I can also understand that this is real.
To
Like,
me, it
there's
was like
parts you
more
can-
telling a story than it was, like
Yeah.
spitting like realness at you.
That's what I liked about it. It
But
was like
it gets in your head. It really does, you know.
yeah.
Makes you
Well,
think.
I've been thinking about it since,
Oh,
even just
same.
in the small ways. Like,
I want to throw my phone out the window and just get rid of it. You know?
honestly, those people
Get those old Nokias, no camera, no internet, like
can drop it and not worry about it breaking.
Yeah, straight up.
You probably break the ground. If anything, you have to pay for the fucking cement.
The good old 6300.
Bro, like every crack you see in the ground,
One
the
of them is
6300
from
caused
Nokia.
it.
No, it's crazy, but like the generation we're living in and phones, like we've grown up with them. You know, they came into our lives when
We're still
We're-
got it semi-good though. We didn't have an iPad shoved in our face when
We're
we were
very-
3 years
bro,
old.
you look at 3-year-olds.
That's
Yeah,
what-
literally
Even
now that.
two, fucking, you know.
Yeah, they know how to get to
Very
YouTube. They know how to search up this. They know how to do this. Literally at 2 years old.
Crazy.
Like, imagine
Very.
when they're 18.
You know how many kids I see? Like, I'm talking just probably infant, just above toddler, that are in a pram, just watching fucking YouTube.
Yeah,
Just some like
100%.
Crazy.
Working in
Playing-
playing a
back
game
working
on
in
their
Westfield,
iPad.
you'd see it all the time. The mum and whatever would be walking around with the pram, and the kid would just be there. They'd be trying to talk to the kid. The kid would not want a bar of the mum, and the kid's just there on the iPad, and you're just like, "Fuck, we were lucky to grow up." Because I remember
Honestly,
the amount of
that's
time.
what-
That's what I
we grew
reckon
up
too.
playing outside. Like,
First iPhone only came in when we were in high school, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
honestly, I think iPhone 3s were maybe year 8 or 9.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
at
like,
least.
well, iPhone 3s were like the first sort of iPhones that were
Yeah.
going around. Like,
Was
in
there
terms
ever
of
an
like,
iPhone 1?
That's what I mean. 1s or 2s, I don't know. Eh?
I
All I remember is iPhone 3.
Seriously,
the 3S.
yeah.
Like,
3G and that.
Maybe it's the first time they ever made it like, or maybe it's just like,
I think the iPod came out first. The iPod Touch.
yeah.
That came out
because
first.
everyone was using the
Do you reckon
touches like
Yeah.
this is the first
Yeah.
couple years of high school.
And the
Connecting to
iPod
the
Touch, and
school
everyone's
fucking
playing
Wi-Fi.
like Doodle Jump and all
Bro,
those games.
Doodle
Tap,
Jump.
Revenge. Tap Tap Revenge.
Well, the phones,
Yeah,
of,
tap-
the phones of
Yeah.
choice then were them fucking side flip LG phones. with
Well,
them
yeah,
with
it
massive
was cool.
keyboard.
The big
QWERTY
thing having
keyboard.
the E71. So you could
You were a
type.
cool kid if you had one of those like the phones with the QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah.
Bro.
The
I remember
E63s.
someone would come into school and they'd have this new song on their phone, and everyone's like, "Bro, Bluetooth that to me, Bluetooth that to me."
Bluetooth and
So
the
he'd
song.
sit there and he's Bluetoothing it to everyone, and then by the time you know it, it's everyone's ringtone.
Yeah.
Bro, that's when ringtones used to be a thing. Like, you had to sit there and actually be like, fuck, what song am I bumping?
And now,
Now
yeah,
it's
you got to
just
buy a ringtone if you want. Like, if you want your own ringtone, you got to go on the App Store and buy it.
Bro, how is music more available than ever and we have to buy a ringtone?
Crazy.
Mum used to get them bills for Crazy Frog.
Yeah.
Ning, ning.
Because
Because I was texting the number in the background.
That's crazy.
Oh.
Crazy to think.
But now in schools, bro, like, remember when we were in school and they were giving out like the government initiative for the
Yeah,
laptops?
yeah.
We didn't ever get them because our school sold them for cash, just for that clout. But
I reckon
fucking
they would.
now, like I think even primary schools they're giving the kids a laptop, so
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's not pen and paper anymore. It's
Well,
fucking
yeah,
laptop,
A lot of it's interactive and it's like just open laptop,
iPads.
Like, there's not much writing. There's not the same writing that they used to. And I get it, but at the same time, you need to write shit. Because even when like, it could be something simple, but if you write it, there's something about it. It clicks in your brain.
Oh, it embeds
more.
it
Like,
in
if
there.
I write
Definitely.
something in notes, like, let's say it's a goal. If I write it in notes, yeah, I look at it, but you forget it because it's another thing in your phone. You write something down,
it actually gets in your brain. It's like it's proven that you write it down, it gets into your
Well, it's
brain.
like when you'd have detention and then you'd have to write down, I will not do this.
Yeah.
I will not do this. You
Or
write
in
it,
St. Paul's,
4 or
there
5
was-
pages
That
worth.
didn't stop me, but
I will
No,
do
that's
this.
the opposite end of the
My
spectrum.
brain just remembered I will do this.
it's like one word at a time.
Yep.
Will.
That used to be the hack.
Yeah.
Tricks
But
of the
then
trade.
Arvo detentions at St. Paul's, there was that story.
Yeah,
There was
they
that
brought a
fucking
book.
Story. Oh my god, I can't remember what it was
Or you had
about.
to like
But
just
someone will
rewrite a
remember.
book on paper.
Yeah, so there was,
was
a,
like
like
little-
a book and you had to rewrite it underneath. It was ridiculous.
By year 9, I knew that fucking story like it was Hogwarts.
Was it the same story every
Yeah.
time?
I hated
You wouldn't know.
detention.
I
Just
wouldn't
suspend
fucking
me.
know.
Just like honestly.
It was bullshit.
Give me a day off.
Yeah, give me a day
Yeah.
off any day.
I'm gonna cop it from mum and dad regardless. So I'm not staying back.
Nah, staying back. Oh,
It's the worst.
It's the worst.
Especially at school.
like 5 p.m. at school to 5 p.m. Jeez.
All that shit ain't legal.
Yeah, I know. How can you do that to a kid?
It physically can't be. There's no way that can be legal.
But then they started doing Saturday morning detention.
Oh, that's fuck. That's even
Saturday
weird.
morning.
Yeah. So there was the Wednesday
Saturday.
afternoon and Friday
It used to be
afternoon and
Wednesday,
then
Friday.
Saturday mornings.
Fuck,
You
it'd be
actually had to
shit
go
be
in on a
teacher.
Saturday
Yeah.
morning to school and you had to wear your school uniform
Uniform.
and go in.
Good luck.
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
That's an actual punishment.
That is a punishment, bro.
Like Friday Arvo's hard. Like if I got anything, I'd want it to be a Wednesday. Saturday morning, get out of my face.
Yeah, because Wednesdays, the shit thing was Wednesdays and Fridays. That's when WWE was on.
Smackdown.
Raw, I think Raw was on Wednesday and SmackDown, the best one, was on Friday. So if you ever had detention, you were missing that shit. You had to watch the
We had to wait
reruns.
until Foxtel IQ saved the day back
I used to
then.
go to my neighbour's house, put the fucking videotape in, record it.
Oh, the days.
Get that fucking...
Kids these days would not know what the fuck that is.
Nah, bro, you just go Netflix
Press a
nowadays or
button.
KO.
Yeah, everything's on demand, to be honest.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I don't even need to record anything no more.
Fucking remember having shit on Series Link, like just Family Guy and stuff, just because that's the only way you could indulge in it. Nowadays, you can just jump on fucking Stan and you've got all 30 seasons of... I mean, Disney Plus.
To be
sorry,
bad,
you've
we're
got
literally... I feel like
Simpsons.
we're bored for choice. Like,
We are.
You get bored because you have everything at your fingertips.
And you don't know what to choose because it's like...
Too much.
Your brain isn't... We're not biologically here. Like, our
Not meant to
brain
be like that.
Isn't...
No.
Made
Well, you look at
to
your
make
iPhone
so many
screen.
fucking decisions.
And yeah, like on your homepage, there's 20 apps.
The freedom of that
Yeah,
is
like-
actually like doing us worse favors than like anything else. It's not helping
Yeah.
us. Like,
It's almost too much of a good thing. Like,
It's-
phones are literally like similar to what you say with microdosing. Like, you can overdose on your.
Because there's a lot of good
phone,
that
on
comes out of it.
information.
A lot of
100%.
good.
Like
You're
the
connecting with
connecting,
people
yeah.
across the world. You're connecting with people you haven't connected to in so long, or
In a
whatever the case is.
Networking business sense, you can literally message like you linked with. Who'd you say Dante from?
yeah,
Brooklyn.
well, yeah, like
How's
he
that?
was here in Australia. He's actually living in Blacktown now. But like when
LA
when he-
to Blacktown.
yeah, 2148.
Live it.
You know, it's you can link with people when they're not here. You know, like I've linked with people in different states. You know, and it's easy to.
You just send work.
yeah,
back
you can
forth
send
and then
work
it's ready.
back and forth. You know, and it's easy.
And COVID accentuated that. Like,
Definitely,
now you realise the actual power of like Skype and video calls. Because
People don't need to go to work anymore.
I've been
They can
working
stay
from
home.
home for
There's
ages, bro.
there's so many businesses that are gonna rethink
The
paying
rent of the city.
$150,000 for a fucking Kent Street office space. Like,
That could be
It just-
pure
They'll
profit
just,
now.
It'd be
keep a
good for
meeting
the
room
traffic
now or
light.
something.
Oh,
Literally.
fuck.
you
Keep
just
a
make
meeting room and
get
then
a
everyone
small
else just
one.
work from home.
Like yeah, literally just a conference room for professional shit and everything else. If you can work from home, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, fucking hell.
It's good in a sense, but it's also like your home life and your work life, once it mashes together, it's eventually.
Well, that's what I
That's
found,
a
bro.
very-
Like, my home was my
very good
escape,
fucking
and now it's
point.
Yeah,
like,
it's
now
it's
I
the
don't even
same.
know when I can close a laptop
Yeah.
now, because it's like, oh, fuck, maybe I should do a bit more because I'm at home. Like,
Yeah,
and you
I'm
get
at
in,
work
yeah,
/ home.
yeah, like you get that in your head and you feel like you're slacking off because you're in a comfortable environment, whereas before you actually go to work, so you almost change your mentality there, like, all right, you switch on, let's get it done, and then you go home
You
and
leave
switch
and
off.
you
But
can
now it's
kick
like,
it.
I don't know if
Same.
I'm on or if I'm off, or what the fuck's going on.
Maybe there's a middle ground that can come from this. Like even like work from home, but like go to your local fucking library or something. Because I agree, that's a very good point that you make. Like if you work where you work where you shit, pretty much. If you hustle where you know, hit the hay, it mentally, even subconsciously, it just it meshes the two. You never know when to stop. Like you could be up at 2:30 a.m. because you got a project due tomorrow. Whereas if you're in the office or you have a designated workspace, all right, wake up at 6, go there. You know, like you get that more balance.
It's that saying how like they say you shouldn't spend too much of your day in your bedroom or in your bed because then it takes away your ability to sleep and
Once
actually switch off.
Yeah.
So it's the same sense. When you work from home all the time, you don't actually know when you can switch off. You don't know if you are switched off. And it literally just meshes it all together. It's just fucking...
Very fucking true. That's a side of it that I guess maybe needs to be considered.
That's what I found from working from home. It's just, you don't get that work and life balance anymore. It's all just one big fucking blur. And then the weekend comes and you just get sloshed.
And do you feel like on a Sunday...
That's the escape now.
Let's say if you were at home, and let's say, hypothetically, you're just sitting at home on a Sunday, and you have a lot of work to do. You know, like, tomorrow you've got to do a lot of work. Is there something in your brain that goes, I should do it now?
No. Like, I'd love to say yes, but there's fucking not.
On, like, a weekend? It's
No.
more weekdays.
But I find, I always put myself under more pressure because I'm like, oh, you know what, I should probably wake up earlier tomorrow because I'm working from home. I can just wake up and get started. But then there's also something in your mind, like, when you wake up that next morning where it's like,
Brother,
I'm not supposed to start work till 8:30, so I'll wake up at 8:15.
I'll wake up at 8:28.
Yeah, and I can do that comfortably and fucking switch the laptop on in my undies. Join a meeting and just have fucking nothing on except a t-shirt.
Honestly, business at the top, nothing on the bottom. Just get that airflow.
So it's hard to find that balance, but I guess from the longer you do it, the easier it becomes. Like I've found now that, you know, I'll sit out the back and do all my work, and then come lunchtime, close the lid, fuck off. I go inside, go for a walk, do that, and then come back to it outside. So I've set up a space where it's like, this is my workspace now. So it's easier for my mind to switch off.
Maybe that's a hack. Is like, if you're gonna work from home, just designate yourself a space, because you can't just work anywhere and everywhere. Like in theory, doing it once sounds fine, but if you're working from home, I think you gotta like create a space, like a study room, or a back.
Well, that's what you were saying before. You were saying you've got a studio at home now.
It's actually, so I've got a long granny flat, and like one end of it is the kitchen, the other end is my studio, and in between's my bed.
That's so literally a division.
It works out alright. It's like, I'm thankful to have all that space, but yeah, it is hard, you know, like, you want to be in work mode, but you're also in your bedroom, so
that's the hard shit.
Yeah, it's hard, and I don't know, and especially with music, you got to just be in the mood. If you're not in the mood, you can fuck around for hours, and then just like want to throw your laptop at the wall and fuck off. You know?
Delete the whole thing.
Yeah, you do. It's a pain in the ass, but with music, it's always fun, you know. You can work at it for 7 days straight, and only one of those days be productive. Or like you know, you might only come out with one track, and you worked for 20 hours, or you know.
Well, that's the pros and cons of being a creative, really.
That's how creatives work, exactly. You know, and not everything's gonna be worth your time, and like, I don't know, you're gonna be critical of yourself, and you can't just like make anything and be happy with it. Like,
well, that's where the learning curves come from too. You might spend 7 days. Only have one good day, but those 6 days you've now learned.
You've learned, definitely.
You know what not to do, what to do, whatever the case is.
Exactly. It's always, you can't look at it as wasting your time, you know.
I think
perfecting your craft.
Perfecting your craft and coming back after the break.
You beauty.
We're back. We're live, and everything's fucking groovy.
Everything's groovy with Tekie in the house.
Hey.
that could be a plug it like the start of a track.
It's
groovy with Tekie in the house.
That's my tag.
That's mad, bro. But you spoke about mental health before. It's a subject that's becoming easier to talk about, which is definitely another thing we're grateful for in this generation, is that it's not just seen as get over it. It's seen as something that you can talk about openly and not be, you know, stigmatized in a sense. It's still there. Yes.
I think that when you suppress it or you like push that down with a lot of people, and I've seen over time, it's just, it doesn't give it value or meaning, you know. A lot of people messed up. I think our parents' generation and their parents' generation passes down the trauma from not dealing with their mental health issues, you know. You can't just be strong about things. You sometimes got to work through your shit. You got to talk about it. You got to have support. And I think our generation is really opening up to that. You know, we're starting to be the change in that.
Well, we're starting to look at it like strong isn't just don't show emotion, don't do that. Strong is working through it. Like,
Yeah,
strong
100%.
is seeing a therapist.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, strong is talking about, you know, having those conversations that you wouldn't have with the boys or
Definitely.
with your mum, with your family. Like, you know, that's what strong is, and that's what, especially with our platform too. That's what we're trying to sort of bring up. Like, you know, we're three boys who, you know, we've grown up playing footy. You know, living that sort of boy life, but.
Yeah.
We're big on the mental health side, like
Yeah,
you can't just put shit aside. It's
100%.
and you always hear about it. Like with a broken arm, you're not just going to live with a broken arm.
Nah.
You know, you're going to go to the doctor. You're going to go get surgery. You're going to go do whatever you need to do to get that arm back and ready.
The funny thing, no one's going to tell you, hey, just be strong.
No, you got a broken arm.
I can see your
Just
wrist
walk it off.
Bro, go to the doctor. You know? Like,
but you say you're anxious.
You don't
You
see
say
the mental health, like physically, you can't see it with your eyes.
and that's
you know?
maybe what people can't grasp is
They
if
don't,
I can't
they don't
see
feel
it.
it's real.
just
They don't think
grow
it's
up.
as real. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's what a lot of people say. It's like there's no empathy or emotional IQ in some people.
You can cause yourself so much, like your pain and all the other stuff, like can become physical from your mental side. You know?
100%. The biggest battle every day is you versus you.
Definitely.
You know, and if you don't take that on, and if you just put that to the side, then you versus you is going to get fucking very difficult. And that's
until
where you
that
see
battle's
suicide,
winning.
and that's where you see all that, because people go, you know, I don't have that support system. I can't, it's me, you know, and I feel weak for saying it.
Yeah.
You know, I can't live here anymore, whatever the case is. And
What the fuck?
yeah, no, but like,
No, I agree. But where are you moving out of? It's just, I can't live
but then
here
that's-
anymore. Holy shit, government's just opening up. You want to talk about you?
we'll talk about myself after this podcast, boys. No, but seriously, like, that's where I think now as well, a lot of people can sort of tell if their mates are going through stuff. And
Big time.
whereas, you know, our parents, if they ever notice that, it'd be that, grow up.
See,
Bro, I'm having a bad day.
I think that's one of the biggest things with social
Have a
media.
beer,
Like
fucking poof.
we're pulled out from our connection. Like we think we're as connected as we ever have been, but technically we're not. You know.
Yeah.
I think we need to like get closer to our grassroots of like deeper, proper connections, more physical connections. Speaking to people more face to face, you know. You can keep up to date with your friends more than ever, but you're probably seeing them less than ever, you know. You think by keeping up with your best friend over social media, you can see him once a week or once a fortnight or whatever sometimes, but that's not how, I don't know, I feel like that has affected us a lot too, you know.
For sure. I also think, though, I guess on the flip side of that, with technology, it's almost brought the issue to the forefront of everyone's mind. Like, you know, with like Mental Health Day and all this sort of stuff, it's almost become, it's widespread the message that it's not just you going through it. There's so many, everyone goes through it at one point in their life or another. Like, and if anything, it's not just a one moment that you go through it. It's an ongoing thing that people fucking live with day to day. Day in, day out. So
Definitely.
I agree, like, social media takes a lot of the personal connection out of life with everyone, but it's also given mental health a platform to be like, you're not going through it alone.
Yeah.
Again, that's a massive benefit of it. Like, that's something that you look at and say, oh, I'm grateful for that side of it, is that it's so simple now to get something around the world.
Yeah.
Something, obviously, that has destructive power if used incorrectly, but for something like Mental Health Awareness Day, that's huge. And people are probably having conversations on that day. Like, yeah, I know you're just posting, are you okay, stuff like that, but that could spark a conversation.
Definitely.
And I think the narrative, even with Are You Okay now, is they're not just saying, Are you okay day? It's also, you know, a lot of the work starts with, like, checking up after you say, Are you okay?
Yeah, definitely.
And having a conversation that. Because some people, you have one conversation when you're in, like, in that mood to share or to listen, and then, like, you might never talk about it to someone again.
Yeah, fully.
So, I think it's a
Good
good
to
thing.
check up on your friends, you know, especially in these times when
100%.
locked down a lot more and that sort of stuff.
It's not
going out as much, you know.
It's not human to not have social connection.
Yeah, no,
like
fully.
that's we're social beings, really.
I think another thing I found this year especially, we're so disconnected from nature and from the earth, and the word for it is like Gaia, so like all this stuff. So I think one thing we really got to do is be more connected in nature, meditate more. A lot of breath work is important out in nature, and taking our shoes off and actually, I don't know if you guys have heard of earthing, so like grounding yourself. So actually walking around on the grass, you know, walking around on the cement with our bare feet, you know. Just like there's the energies, you know, we're very disconnected, and that affects our mental health a lot too, you know. We're so easily to get caught inside almost all the time, or
200%.
you know, like be you know, just so disconnected. Go for a bushwalk or something like that. We don't do that often, but we need to, you know. Like back in 200 years ago, we were out in nature 80-90% of the time, you know. So it's just so important, you know. It's not normal that we're in this big concrete jungle, you know.
Houses are so new.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
houses are recent.
Like 100 years ago, that's about it.
And now you look at all the
Seriously.
unit blocks coming up.
And even that, and that's what's getting like I couldn't live
Everywhere.
in a unit because like so disconnected from the earth and from reality, and it's just a box, and it's feel like a lab rat, you know.
Bro, it's a
Especially
big
now.
concrete jungle, especially in Sydney.
Well,
Especially in
that's
Sydney, bro. Like, you know,
100%.
you've travelled, you've done Europe and whatnot,
Yeah.
and you realise how happy, especially Bali. Like,
Bali, yeah.
You see Bali, people from, as your kids are playing on the beach, playing on the sand, playing, you know, just ball games or whatever all day. And they're so fucking happy. They've probably got no money. You know, their family probably have no money, but it's not a problem to them. Whereas we come back here and you just get stuck in that mindset. You get stuck in the rat race, really.
Definitely.
And then that's where mental health, you forget about it.
You forget about it. That's what I found a lot this year. I would go out into nature, and you take your shoes off, you walk around a tiny bit. But meditation and breath work was like definitely the biggest thing, and like especially when you live, I don't know, so far away from all that stuff, you don't see it often. But I found like you got to make time and effort for that. Breath work was a big one. Like I don't know if you guys have heard of Wim Hof. He's called the Iceman. So like he would like literally like, sit there naked on the ice and breathing techniques, and it's just like mind over matter, you know, like, and it comes back to mental health too. It strengthens your mind, you know. He would be able to like he'd do ice baths too, so he'd like do this breathing technique, and then you jump into an ice bath and you sit there for a few minutes, and you don't feel it that much. It's like a mental thing, and it strengthens your mind, you know.
The mind is probably the most powerful tool we have.
Well, that's the other thing too.
Easily.
So if you're telling yourself all the time, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, life's shit, you know, that's the other thing. You're gonna, it's like writing in a book. You keep writing it enough times in your mind, it's gonna stick, you know. Intentions are so important. You tell yourself, you know, I have self-worth, you know, I'm a good person, all that stuff. And I find that's actually super important. We don't do that enough, you know. We can sit there in our own thoughts in our own head a lot and be saying, you know, bad things to ourselves because we're our own worst critic. But if you're not sitting there, you know, setting good intentions for the day, giving yourself good praise, being grateful for, you know, saying, I'm thankful I have this, I'm thankful I have that, not, oh, well, I don't have enough money, I don't have a nice car. You're gonna, it's negative.
I don't
you need
like
positive.
my body. I don't like
exactly,
this.
you know?
I don't like that.
And you just tell yourself that
You
enough.
start to believe it.
Exactly, and you start to believe these negative thoughts that you're probably one of the only people that believe that, you know. You go outside and you've beaten yourself up for the past fucking half a day. You go outside, people aren't thinking about that shit about you.
Because
you know?
they've got their own thoughts in their head.
Exactly.
Everyone's so
Get caught up in
focused
your own-
on thinking that
100%.
everyone's thinking about them when everyone's thinking
About
about
themselves.
themselves. Like everyone's doing what you're doing.
Exactly.
Ju-
A lot of
but-
people in the same boat, they just keep it a lot more quieter, you know, or they
Deal
you
with
know.
it in their own way, sort of thing.
Exactly.
I reckon meditation's a massive one because a lot of people think of meditation like you see here, like fucking
Or
like
Zen
that's
and whatever the case.
yeah, but it's
Breathing.
I find it breathing and it's just a chance for self-reflection. Like, you know, close your eyes if that works for you and just sit there and reflect on your day, what the wins, the losses, what made you feel a certain way,
Definitely.
why it made you feel a certain way, and then you get that self-realization to overcome it. The next time you face the same situation, you'll be like, This is easy. What do you mean?
And
Like,
some of your deepest thoughts and most constructive thoughts come from quieting the noise. Like putting your phone down and literally just being present, you can all of a sudden make that breakthrough. And it, again, comes back to even creative. Like, you could have writer's block because you've just been in the studio or, you know, on your phone just trying to find inspiration. You drop it down, you could find inspiration in a heartbeat. I think that's a big thing, is like just being quiet so that you can listen to what's important.
With meditation and what a lot of people fail in, and even myself too, and this is why I struggle to do it as much as I'd like to. You don't meditate to have nothing in your brain. So your brain's always going on autopilot, 100 million miles an hour. You're thinking 50 things at once, you know. But with meditation, it's about reading those thoughts and sort of trying to slow them down a little bit, but also just being aware of your thoughts and being more conscious about your thoughts. Because you could go your whole day and like you don't even feel like you made a proper you know, decision. It's just like your subconscious has like made that decision, not your proper, like your deeper level conscious has made that decision, not you as a critical thinker has like made any decision. So when you're meditating or breath work, whatever, you're just sitting there, you're watching your thoughts more than actually trying to have a clean mind. Because people get very like worked up about not having a clean mind, you know. And it's just like, if you consistently do that, you know, the more times you do that, eventually you're going to be somewhere and your brain's going to be a lot less foggier and you're going to be clear and you're going to actually be able to do that more subconsciously than like you used to, you know.
Yeah, I get you. It's the power of the subconscious mind.
And it goes too with your mobile phone, you know, 50 things at once on your mobile phone. That's why your brain's fucking...
Yeah. Well, how much
fine.
information do you get from one swipe on Instagram? You know,
Too
like
much.
you see 30
Seriously.
people's different lifestyles and all the comments, which you might not read every single one, but your brain's read it. Like you've seen every
you've
single word,
registered it.
and that by itself can make you exhausted.
And
Like,
they even reckon reading the comment of someone else commenting on someone else's thing. So let's say it's some famous guy, like, and you know, famous people getting all these comments that could be positive, hateful, whatever. You're processing that as
your own emotion.
not it coming to you, but you're processing the emotion attached to that. So like, oh, it's a negative comment. Oh, I'm processing that. And it's like, we're not born to be like...
There's too much negativity in the world too.
We're not born
and
for that.
I believe in energies and shit, and even if it is on social media, you're taking in those energies, you know.
Big time.
And you're taking in all that negative emotion and that negative energy. It's no good
Not
for
healthy.
anyone. Yeah, it's not healthy at all.
No way, bro. I think, yeah, that's a big thing. It's just... I think the mental health and quieting the noise.
Self-awareness, like just
Definitely,
being aware
be
of...
self-aware. So like, I'm not a big reader, but I've like tried, and I've gotten halfway through this book, Power of Now. It's so important about being like self-aware, just like being grateful and being in the moment, you know.
Who wrote that?
Eckhart Tolle. So he's there's actually a really interesting
think I've read
podcast. I'm not that crazy on podcasts, but like I don't know, I get bored. I've like got real bad ADHD, so I struggle to like sit there and like listen to someone speaking for so long. But Russell Brand and Eckhart Tolle speaking about similar to Power of Now. It's like an hour podcast or something. It is like next level insane. It's actually like just straight fire facts and like so I feel like it's so important, you know. Like the Eckhart Tolle is probably one of like the greatest minds of our like time, I reckon, in terms of like bringing us back to ourselves, you know.
Might have to read it.
Very
We'll have to
important
read it.
dude, definitely. And he has another book, A New Earth, and it talks about dropping ego and like proper ego from like a subconscious level, you know. And so much of even like our negative thinking comes from an ego, you know, on ourselves and other parts. But ego is so important. Ego's not just, oh, I'm the best. It's so much more than that, you know.
So you just
110%.
started, you know, sort of delving into this since Corona started, or when?
I guess it's like been like a long time coming. Like I guess heavier since Corona started, but it's like been a couple years. I've been sort of like looking into it a bit more, trying to better myself. I guess doing psychedelics helped push that a bit further, definitely. But it wasn't like the main reason. But it definitely opens you up a bit more to your spirituality. But I just found it like, I don't know. So it's a self-care thing to a point, you know. You get to a point in your life where you're like, I got to eat better. I got to drink less. I got to exercise a bit more. I got to have more routine. I can't be doing this, doing that. And like the biggest thing is actually self-care, and we don't think about it as much with like, you know, our brain and trying to fix our brain. We a lot of us think self-care is running every day or going to the gym or doing this, doing that, but our mind is actually probably more important than physical exercise to a point. Physical exercise is so important for your mental health, but people don't think about actually trying to train or tap into that mental aspect of that, you know.
They think it's always a physical benefit from that physical exercise.
Definitely. And like, you know, if I eat better, I feel better. But it's like, you can't feel better if your thinking patterns and your thought patterns and your knowledge isn't there, because it all has to be just as updated as everything else.
For sure.
You're always learning, you're always healing. Healing never stops. You heal one thing, or you open up to heal one thing, and you open like a can of worms, you know. But it's good. You can't just like back away from that, you know. You gotta like grow, and I don't know, I always found I want to be someone who helps people, but to help other people you gotta really help yourself.
Yeah,
you
sure,
know, and you can't
100%.
preach anything that doesn't work for you, you know.
100%.
I think, you do the work, you reap the benefits. I think it's tough
Definitely.
because you have some conversations and you even have some realizations that you might have been suppressing, but
Shit ain't easy, and sometimes you want to just pretend like it can be, but it's not.
No,
Well, that's where
bro.
that's where the stigma sort of comes from, you know,
Definitely.
of being tough mentally, or being just tough, being a man, you know, whatever the case is. But that's where you need to work on that.
Some of the toughest
time.
people I know are the people that are most depressed or suicidal, and the way they live their life and the shit they've been through, and they're still kicking it. And you know, I see them smile half the time. I'm like, crazy. Like the fact that some of
Hats
these
off.
people haven't given up, you know, to me these days that's stronger than someone who's just happy all the time and killing it at life, you know. Like good on those people too. It's good to see someone doing well, but sometimes people that aren't doing so well are the stronger ones, in my opinion, you
Well,
know.
they are the stronger ones, because as I was saying before, it's a battle every day, you versus you.
Definitely.
And if you're there, you know, versing yourself, and it's the toughest fucking battle, how strong are you to just be still kicking?
And still helping other
Still-
people. Like,
Exactly.
Smiling.
Exactly.
You know, it's not easy to smile.
It's not.
Like,
He uses 200 muscles, brother.
Honestly, that's a workout. But no, I agree with that.
yeah,
Agree with that
no, it's
big
good,
time.
bro. It's fucking good to see you're in this mental state as well.
Trying, you know, just consistently trying to get to a higher level of, I guess, spirituality for, I don't know.
For you?
Yeah. And, like, that spirituality has, I guess, a funny name. Like, you know, people think hippie and all that all sort of stuff. But
Or even religious to an
even
extent.
religious. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not at all a religious person. I'm pretty anti-religious. Like, I'm anti, like, the Catholic and church and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
I went to a Catholic school my whole life, you know. You get shoved that down your throat the whole 13 years of your life. You kind of get over it, you know.
And while the system sees it as a positive thing, like, you know, being involved in the religion and everything, it can be that negative side, because it's like,
Most wars are
I didn't even
started
have a
over
choice
religion.
over that.
Most
Like,
wars, is, you know, I see religion. Like, I don't think religion in itself is bad, but
Yeah.
what has come out of it, yes.
like the
And-
Crusades and all that
yeah,
sort of shit.
exactly. And like, I don't know, like, just the hatred, like, you know, I can hate on gay people, or I can do this and that because my religion says it's not okay, or this or the other. It's like, yeah, but your religion also tries to tell you to be a better person. So
Yeah.
like, but people don't, you know, they use things as an excuse, you know, like.
And even that extent, like, I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
The
like-
conflict of religions itself, like,
Everyone has a right to their own belief, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I have no issues, you know. Like, some people believe in aliens, some don't, you know. Whatever, doesn't
Do
make
you?
anyone right. It doesn't make anyone right, you know.
Yeah.
I personally think that if we're here, aliens got to be real. I think aliens are more real than God itself, you know. But I don't necessarily not believe in a God. I think, you know, we come from a higher power, higher energy.
yeah.
But like, everything is made up of energy. We're all frequencies, you know. That's why, like, 5G causes corona, you know. But like, you
We've
know,
just been flagged.
yeah.
The government's watching
Fuck.
us because they're looking in that camera right now.
YouTube is asking for your location.
Nah, but like,
FBI
you know,
just texted
we
me.
are frequencies though. You know, our whole body is a frequency. You know, we give off energies ourselves. We radiate. You look at it like our heart is a frequency that it gives off. That's why it pulses all the time. You know.
I've heard that theory before, that there's other worlds that exist within this same space as us. We
feel
just
like we'd have
operate on a different frequency, so we can't see and physically feel or touch it. But literally, like they say, ghosts that people have seen can actually be mistaken for beings that exist on a different frequency to what we
That's
exist,
crazy.
and for that moment, they cross over to another frequency and then they disappear again. That's
So
like,
what, we're 2GB, they're 4BC.
yeah, like Today FM.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's a fucking whole can of worms that could just
Oh,
make your
shit.
mind just go...
I don't know. It's like I just feel like we couldn't possibly be the only beings out.
Nah,
Yeah.
There's so many.
That's
scientifically
possible.
speaking,
Oh, there's no way it's even possible. Yeah, I'm more of a man of science than like, oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. But like, you know,
Yeah.
like some people like I don't believe in religion because I'm like it just doesn't make sense. There's no, not that everything has to be backed by science, but to me it's like it's just a story in my head. You know, it's like it's the same as like I don't know Robin Hood or something like that.
well,
It's a
early
made-up
religions
story.
were based on the stars.
Well, yeah, well,
Like on constellations and everything. So it's interesting to to think that, you know, where did the original story of creation come from? So
Well, all religions have the same story,
Basis.
really. Same
Yeah.
basis. Like, they've got their different...
savior and all that sort of stuff. But there's always as you said, like the underlying constants
It's
between
all the
each
same.
one.
that's actually another thing I found and looked into with religion. We don't, as a society these days, have as much of a purpose. Back in the 50, 100 years ago, when religion was big, people had more of a meaning to life. They had more of a, I'm going to do good so that I can get into heaven or this, that, the other. These days, a lot of people have denounced religion, denounced God. They're not about it. People are struggling with their mental health and their ability to keep going or to feel like they're living for a purpose, and part of that comes from not being religious or spiritual,
There's a lot of pros in religion too.
There
Like,
is,
a
there
lot
is,
of pros.
there is.
You see people change their lives. They find God.
Yeah.
And, whether or not it's real, that's beside the point.
It is beside the point to me.
It's what it does.
For,
The
it's
point.
what it
Big
does and what
thing,
it
I
means to
reckon,
you.
is,
as
yeah,
a person.
You gotta have
believing
faith.
in that higher power.
You gotta have
I think
purpose.
Understanding that there's someone bigger than us that, ultimately gives us a purpose to keep pushing. I think in that regard, like that keeps a lot of people going another day.
Definitely,
Is that higher power
and I respect that, and I'm happy that people can have that,
Yeah.
And I think that's why it can be important for that for people, It gives them a lot of
Big time.
meaning and a lot of reason to keep going,
Just like I hope
Yeah.
that there's something else out there in
Definitely.
the universe that's looking after everything. Like, and I even say when it comes to people's sickness and that, even though it might be directly out of your control, just to have that moment to go, you know what, I need help. Like, I need someone or something to help out this situation because physically you can't help it.
Yeah.
So
We've all prayed to God, even though if we don't believe in Him.
yeah, 100%.
I don't necessarily pray to God. I've prayed to the universe.
Yeah.
Or the energies, because I think I don't believe in nothing. I think there's something.
There
Like,
has to be.
yeah, there has to be something.
Like we can't be that, and it comes back to ego in a sense. Like, oh, we're the other people. No,
Definitely.
and it's probably not even a person per se. It's just
I feel
An idea.
yeah.
like a god. God is a higher power in any way, shape, or form. People look at it differently, but God represents that higher power, that purpose, that person, or that being that kind of structures the world in a sense and gives people that structure and
Definitely.
and just purpose, really.
Definitely. I think goes back a bit to what I was saying about intention too, from your heart, you're praying to God with intention or, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for this, can you please help out with this, or I pray for this person to get better, this, or the other. You're sending out energies. If it's to God, if it's to the universe, if it's to whatever, you're sending out those intentions. And setting those intentions, you're asking the universe to provide for you, you're asking for God to provide for you. And not always, you can't just cure cancer from that. But,
Yeah.
you're giving out those good intentions from your heart, not from a place of want, but from your heart. It can actually resonate within the universe,
Well, it's the whole concept of manifestation.
Exactly, and that's a massive thing. Manifesting things, I think, works for a lot of people. It's not a magic thing, but it's just it works.
I think the way it looks at it, you don't just say something and then you align to that frequency, but it's saying it with, like you're saying,
With meaning
intention.
and yeah, exactly.
The intention you have, whether it's to be grow your business, whether it's
Yeah.
to be a better person.
But it
whether
comes
it's
from your heart. It doesn't come from your head or a place of ego. It's not coming. I wish I become rich. That sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's coming from your heart and from meaning.
And when other people get that vibe off you, they can see that it is coming from those good intentions,
Definitely.
you want to help out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's attractive,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that's where sort of manifestation it comes in. Like, if you're putting it out in the world and you can see that it's coming from a good place, you know, like, people are gonna sort of
you can
attach
tell
to
when
that.
someone has you can tell when someone has a good heart and good intentions compared, like, there could be someone with $1 billion and you literally couldn't tell because they just got a big heart and they have pure intention. There could be another person.
Shout out to Bill Gates.
I was about to say, fucking Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos' right eye is recording at all times, bro.
That's what they reckon with
like
Joe
that.
Biden the other night. They reckon he had, at the debate, they reckon he had contact lenses on. Because normally he's got blue eyes, he had black.
I don't think he was charged.
Bro,
That
he's-
guy
Oh, no, he
seemed
was charged.
Low
The bloke-
charge since fucking
The bloke was talking.
70.
His
Hey, what about
skin-
Trump getting coronavirus?
the hustle
That was
of the
bound
week.
to happen, man. Like,
It's
it was
gonna
bound
give him
to
hustler of
happen.
the week once he comes back from it.
100%. But he's in the range,
He's in
really,
the
that
age
it's
range,
Can
yeah.
be serious.
that it can be serious.
And
He's
a
what,
bit-
74?
He's a little bit chubby too.
Yeah, he's not the
He
healthiest
loves,
looking bloke.
He's not that. He eats
Loves the
Maccas all the
Diet
time.
Coke.
He eats Maccas all the time, so he doesn't get food poisoned by not food, like someone tries to poison him. He'll just like get Maccas from random places that they don't know that like he's
It's
coming
him.
and shit. Yeah,
Just walk in.
because he's
boom.
like heaps shit scared that
Yeah.
someone's gonna poison him.
Yeah.
Well, what
Well,
he's
you'd have
doing,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's trying to take out all the big pharmaceutical He's trying to change the world, really.
Yeah.
That's, of course. And the last people that done that, you've seen, they got shot.
JFK,
JFK,
Abraham Lincoln.
yeah. So it's
It'd be
Crazy
interesting,
things.
honestly. I don't know if you guys saw in the Simpsons episode at the end of it, like Donald Trump after becoming president dies. So like,
Yeah.
everything's been true so far.
This-
Like,
the
This might be
Simpsons,
what takes
bro.
him.
yeah.
Daytime travel.
Yeah,
What
I
the
know,
fuck
it's
is that
insane.
bullshit?
Matt Groening, I think he microdoses.
Yeah,
I think he
Matt
macro
Groening's
died.
on
Yeah.
another level, man. Like, yeah, he's just like on
30
another level.
seasons.
Yeah, I know, they
Yes.
just hit 30 seasons.
Maybe he's
I got,
the
I got,
real
I got all my
prophet.
Simpsons tattoos going on.
Yeah.
I got my
Oh my. You do too.
Lucy from Matt Groening's new show, Disenchantment. It's a decent one.
So you're a big fan of Matt Groening.
I like him, yeah.
It's very creative.
Maybe he's like the modern day prophet.
He's like writing,
He's just
instead of
coming out.
writing the Bible, he's writing the Simpsons.
Bro,
People
there's
will look
enough-
back in
there's
2,000
enough fucking
years.
content there to create a religion. Like Simpsons could be a religion.
Literally, I think it is.
There
People,
probably, honestly, I
yeah.
think that it would be. Like,
Yeah.
there'd be a subsection somewhere. Like, I reckon there's a Facebook group. If you went on, it's just devout Simpsons fan.
100%. 100%.
200 years in the future, The Simpsons is going to be the new Bible.
If it keeps going the way it is, yes.
And then Futurama will be the real, be real life in that time.
Did you
Yeah,
guys
tell fucking who's the pink guy, the Zoidberg? Tell him to fucking square
yeah.
up.
in The Simpsons, I don't know if you guys saw, they were like, oh, they're getting bored of terrorism. Like, we need to make a new world issue. So they're like, they were like the big, like the people that
Yeah.
run the world are like,
Around that globe.
yeah. They're like, oh, let's make a fake global pandemic and like a new virus and then like they literally like write it. It's like, and this was like years ago, and it was like so spot on to coronavirus. And like The Simpsons is just on their shit. I don't know like where they're getting this shit from.
Yeah, they got
like,
some
Well, unless
insider
the people
info.
that are running the world now
oh, like,
just love
literally-
The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That might be the thing.
Maybe
maybe The Simpsons aren't predicting
they grew
shit.
up on The Simpsons.
Yeah, maybe they're just going,
The information
Let's
just churns
take it to
through
real life.
They're just taking the piss now. They're like,
Maybe Matt Groening runs the world.
Honestly,
He is the higher power in play.
Mind blown. We just fucking, we figured it out.
Yeah, I think that wraps us up this week, though. Fucking beautiful chats. Could probably talk another 12 hours if we really
Yeah. So
wanted to.
any
But-
when's your plug yourself? When's your music coming out? Or
I'm
what's
hoping to
what's
have
the plans?
some music out by the end of the year. Otherwise, I'm gonna smash some out. Maybe start of next year. Yeah. If you guys follow me on Instagram,
Yeah, we'll get it up there.
Tekie underscore don't worry. TEKIE underscore DW from the area.
Don't worry in that.
Yeah. So just follow me and I'll be out there. You know, plugging some stuff.
When you're in
Beautiful.
Sydney, when the clubs open back up,
Yeah.
don't be shy. Say hi to Tekie.
I'll be out there. Best mullet in Sydney. You
Yeah.
won't miss
You
me.
can't miss him.
Yeah, no, sweet. So,
Alright. It's another Hustler Daily,
that's
boys.
a Hustler Daily. Thanks for coming on, champion.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
legend.
very
Great
much.
chats.
Sick cunts.
We'll have to do a
Very,
part 2 soon.
mind-opening chat, but we'll have to definitely fucking have a
Fuck yeah.
part 2 soon. But yeah, that's another.
Thank you,
Hustler Daily.
brother. Hustler
Thank
Daily.
you.
We out.
We're out. Later.